Okay, class, today we will be starting with chapter 6, that is lines and angles. Okay, so lines and angles, it's a very interesting chapter. Alright, so this will take us back to what we learned from class 2, class 3, class 4, okay, in the lower classes. So now that you are in standard 9, I'm definitely sure you already know what lines and angles are. Alright, so here I won't go into the detail, alright, but I'll give a brief review of what lines and angles are, and then we will discuss the detailed topics, okay, in the later part. Alright, so now for the review, let's talk about a line. Alright, so what is a line? Right, what is a line? So a line is a, what is it? It is a one-dimensional figure, with no thickness and extend infinitely. Is it okay? And extend infinitely. So the definition of a line is that a line is a one-dimensional figure with no thickness and extend infinitely. That means a line has no ending. Alright, yes, it has no ending, it has no thickness. Is it okay? Now, talking about that, how is a line formed? Now that is the question. How is a line formed? That is, a line is formed by connecting. Is it okay? By connecting many dots together, or you can even say a line is formed by joining many dots together. Is it okay? So when many dots are joined together, a line is formed. Alright? So the important thing that I want you to know here is that whenever we talk about a line, alright, a line has always, what do you call this? A line always has two arrow mark on the end. Now why does it has two arrow mark on the end? This is to indicate that a line has no end. Alright, even on the right side also it will go as long as it can, and even on the left side also it will extend infinitely. Alright, that means no ending. Is it okay? I hope this is clear to you, right? So now under line, what do we have? We have a line segment. So what is a line segment? That is, a line segment is a line with two endpoints. Alright, so a line with two endpoints, we call that as a line segment. Alright, so let me show you here. Alright, that is this. So a line segment with two endpoints, we call that as a line segment. So if I take A and B to be the two endpoints, that means a line starts from point A and it ends at point B. So this AB is a line segment. That means, in short, a line segment is a part of a line that has two endpoints. Alright, now under this line segment, again we have a ray. Alright, so what is a ray? That is, a ray is a line with one endpoint. Alright, a ray is a line with one endpoint. So how do we indicate a ray? That is, since it has one endpoint, I'm going to put this as a dot here that indicates A. Is it okay? And then on the other end, I'm going to put an arrow. Is it okay? An arrow mark. So this indicates that it starts from A on towards the right. It can extend infinitely again. Is it okay? Yes? Yes. So now, next, we have an angle. Is it okay? So how is an angle formed? That is, an angle is formed, alright, I repeat, an angle is formed when the two rays start from the same point. Is it okay? When two rays start from the same point, then an angle is formed. or you can even say an angle is formed when the two rays are joined together. Is it okay? So this is a ray. So when the two rays are joined together, you get an angle. That is, take for example, correct? Take for example, I am taking this as one ray, correct? Yes. And then I'm going to draw another ray, correct? Yes. So this is one ray and this is another ray, right? So these two rays has the same endpoint, right? Yes. So when the two rays having the same endpoint are joined together, then we get an angle. So this is, let's take x, so we call this as angle x. Is it okay? So the endpoint where the two rays meet together, this point is called the, what do we call it? We call the vertex. Is it okay? Yes. So I hope this is clear, right? Now, talking about angles, we have different types of angles. Is it okay? But before I jump into the angle part, alright, let me stress a little bit more on a line. Alright, so under a line we have collinear and non-collinear points. Non-collinear points. Is it okay? So under collinear, what are collinear points? Now, collinear point means when three or more points lie on the same line. When three or more points lie on the same line, we call them as a collinear points. Is it okay? Yes. Yes, that means let me show you an example. Alright, I took this to be a let's say I'm taking this to be a line, correct? And in this line I'm taking what do you call this? I'm taking like 4 different points, correct? So A, B, C and D, correct? So if you take a look at this, A, B, C, D, all of these, they lie on this line itself, right? So they lie on the same line, right? So this A, B, C, D, they are known as the collinear points. Now, if 3 or more points does not lie on the same line, then we call them as non-collinear points. That means non-collinear points, they do not lie on the same line. Is it okay? Yes, it is quite simple, right? So now let's go back to the angle. All right, types of angles. All right, so talking about angles, we have different types of angle. That is, the first one we have is an acute angles. Is it okay? So what are acute angles? That is, angles that measure less than 90 degree. We call them as acute angles. That means all the angle that measure from 0 degree to 89 degree, we call them as acute angles. Take for example 10 degree, 35 degree, 75 degree, etc. Is it okay? All these angles, they are called acute angles. Is it okay? I hope all of you understood, right? Okay, so next we have right angle. Is it okay? We have right angle. So what are right angle? Right angle is an angle that measure exactly 90 degree. Is it okay? So an angle that measure exactly 90 degree, we call that angle as a right angle. Is it okay? Yes. Next we have obtuse angles. Alright, so what are obtuse angles? Obtuse angles are those angles Is it okay? That measure more than 90 degree but less than 180 degree. We call them as obtuse angle. That means angle starting from 91 degree to 179 degree, we call them as obtuse angle. That is, take for example 100 degree, 175 degree, 150 degree, etc. All these angles we call them as obtuse angle. Obtuse angles. Is it okay? Now next we have a straight angle. Is it okay? Straight angle. Alright, so what is a straight angle? That is, straight angles is an angle that measure exactly 180 degree. Alright, angle that measure exactly 180 degree is called a straight angle. Alright, now next we have reflex angles. Alright, so what are reflex angle? Reflex angles are those angles, okay, that measure more than 180 degree but less than 360 degree. Is it okay? Angle that measure more than 180 degree but less than 360 degree are called reflex angles. That is, reflex angle starts from 181 degree to 359 degree. These angles we call them as reflex angle. Take for example 200 degree, 250 degree, 310 degree, etc. Is it okay? All these angles we call them as reflex angle. And the last one that we have is called angle at a point. Alright, so angle at a point means an angle that measure exactly 360 degree. Alright, angle that measure exactly 360 degree, we call that as angle at a point. Is it okay? So this angle at a point will be a complete circle. Alright, why? Because this side also 180 and even this side also we have 180 degree. Alright, so angle at a point is that it is an angle that measures exactly 360 degree, which is a complete circle. Is that clear? Yes. So now let's go to linear pair. That is linear pair of angles. Is it okay? Yes. So if we take a line segment, alright, if we take a line, let's take a line. Is it okay? Let's take a line, and then let's take a line, okay, let's take a line AB, and I'm going to take a ray, alright, a ray OC. OC is a ray that that stands on the line AB. So if a ray stands on a line AB, is it okay? Then the two angles, the two adjacent angles, is it okay? These two adjacent angles, they are known as the linear angle. That is, you can take angle 1, angle 2. Angle 1 and angle 2, they are known as the adjacent angles. The term adjacent means the angle that is next to each other. Alright, so these two adjacent angles are known as linear angle. Is it okay? Linear angles, that is angle 1 and angle 2. And the sum of these two linear angles is equal to, the sum of two linear angles is equal to 180 degree. Now, when we solve, alright, when we solve a question related to this linear angle, we write in short in bracket the reason as linear pair, that is LP. Alright, you can write the full form or you can even use the short form. Alright, so I hope this is clear to you, right? Okay, next we have an intersecting lines. Alright, so now under intersecting lines, when two lines cross each other, we call them as intersecting lines. That means let's try to draw two lines. This is one line, correct? So I'm taking these 2 points as this line as A and B. Is it okay? And then another lines, is it okay, that cross the line AB. Is it okay? There is this line I'm taking as CD. Is it okay? Yes. So when the two lines intersect, when the two lines cross over one another, is it okay? Cross over one another, we call those two lines as intersecting lines. Is it okay? Yes. So now the point where the two lines intersect, we call this as the intersecting point. So let me let me indicate this point as O. Is it okay? Then what we get is that we get two pair of vertically opposite angles. That is, what are vertically opposite angles? Vertically opposite angles are those angles that lie opposite to each other. Is it okay? Yes. So in this case, we have this angle opposite to this angle, right? So let me label as 1, this as 2. That means angle 1 and angle 2, correct? And then let me label this, let me take this as angle 3, and the angle opposite to this is this angle, correct? Let me take as angle 4. That means angle 3 and angle 4. And the important point I want you to remind you here is that vertically opposite angles are always equal. That means angle 1 will be equal to angle 2 and angle 3 will be equal to angle 4. Is it okay? I hope this is clear, right? Now, next we have non-intersecting lines. Is it okay? So if the two lines does not intersect, alright, then the two lines will always run parallel to each other. So if I take this line, if I take AB as one line, is it okay? And I'm taking another line CD. Is it okay? CD as another line. Then from here what you see is that the line AB and the line CD, they do not intersect each other. So this line AB and this line CD, they form a, what is it? They form a parallel lines. Is it okay? That is, using symbol, it will be AB parallel CD. Is it okay? Is it okay? Yeah, so I'll do this much for the introduction part. From next video onwards, I'll be uploading the exercises. Alright, I'll be discussing on the exercises. So I hope whatever we discussed today, it is clear to all of you, right?